This tiny Lincoln penny could turn you into a millionaire, and it might already be sitting in your pocket. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to reveal is the shocking truth coin dealers don't want you to know. I'm from HD Old Coins 51, and today, we expose the secret that can make your 1 cent worth thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, overnight. Coin 1. In the heart of America's numismatic history lies a coin that, at first glance, seems almost too common to be special. The 1977 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark. It's small, copper-toned, and for millions of Americans in the late 1970s, it passed through their fingers unnoticed every single day. But today, this humble cent has a story that makes collectors' hearts race, because hiding among these seemingly ordinary coins are treasures worth far more than a single cent. Some specimens have commanded prices in the thousands at auction, turning pocket change into a life-changing windfall. To understand why this penny can be so valuable, we need to rewind the clock, not just to 1977, but even further, to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The IT was in 1909, during the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, that the U.S. Mint broke tradition by placing a real person's portrait on circulating currency for the first time. Before this, liberty in her various artistic interpretations had graced U.S. coinage for over a century. But Victor David Brenner's design, Lincoln's dignified profile, became an instant national icon. By 1977, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for 68 years, weathering shifts in metal composition, wars, recessions, and political changes. The penny's reverse, from 1959 onward, featured the Lincoln Memorial, crafted by Frank Gasparo, replacing the original wheat ears that collectors still cherish today. The year 1977 itself was a fascinating chapter in American history. Jimmy Carter had just taken office as the 39th President of the United States. The nation was recovering from the turbulent Vietnam era, disco was pulsing in the clubs, and Star Wars had just exploded onto the big screen. In everyday commerce, pennies were everywhere. They jingled in pockets, clinked in vending machines, and got lost between couch cushions. But the 1977 Lincoln penny without mint mark was a special product of the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time still refrained from using a P mint mark on cents. The absence of a mint mark was not a sign of rarity in itself, but in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest variations can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. The Philadelphia Mint struck an astonishing 4,469,930,000 Lincoln cents in 1977 without mint marks. That's right, nearly 4.5 billion pieces. With such massive production, you might think there's no way one of these coins could be rare or valuable. And for most, that's true. The majority remain worth face value today. But the magic of numismatics lies in the exceptions, the coins with rare mint errors, pristine condition, or historical quirks that make them stand out. And in the case of the 1977 Lincoln penny, those special examples have sold for staggering amounts. The composition of the 1977 penny was 95% copper and 5% zinc. The classic copper penny mix that collectors adore for its warm color and heavier feel compared to the zinc-based cents introduced in 1982. Each weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. Copper prices in the late 1970s were climbing, which would eventually lead the U.S. Mint to switch to the cheaper zinc planchets. But in 1977, the penny still held its traditional heft, and its copper content today is worth more than its face value, though melting them down remains illegal. What truly ignites collector passion for the 1977 no-mint mark penny are high-grade uncirculated examples and rare mint errors. Among the most coveted are double-die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. In pristine condition, known in grading terms as MS67 or higher, these coins are breathtaking. The luster dances under the light, Lincoln's profile is razor-sharp, and every line of the memorial is perfectly defined. The survival of such flawless coins from circulation is incredibly rare, which is why they command such premiums. One of the most famous auction moments for this coin occurred at a Heritage Auctions event, where a 1977 Lincoln cent without mint mark, graded MS67 plus red by PCGS, sold for an eye-popping $7,050. This was not just a coin. It was a time capsule from the late 1970s, preserved in near-perfect condition for over 4 decades. Collectors in the room knew they were witnessing a battle for one of the finest known examples in existence, and the bidding war was intense. That's the thrill of coin collecting, watching history change hands for sums that defy the coin's original value. Other sales have been equally impressive. In another case, a 1977 no-mint mark penny in MS67RD brought $5,520 at a Stacksbauer's auction. And even coins with dramatic errors, like one struck 15% off center or on a dime planchet, have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars. To the untrained eye, these errors might look like factory rejects. To a seasoned numismatist, they are golden opportunities, proof of the mint's human side, and the perfect blend of rarity and intrigue. What's fascinating is that many people today might have one of these pennies in an old jar, coffee can, or shoebox in the attic. The key to discovering a valuable one lies in condition and details. If the coin is bright, lustrous, and appears untouched, it's worth checking with a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even circulated examples with unusual errors can surprise you. The thrill of finding such a coin, turning a humble cent into a small fortune, is what keeps treasure hunters, metal detectorists, and casual collectors alike scanning their change. For viewers of HD Old Coins 51, the story of the 1977 Lincoln penny without mint mark is a reminder that history is hiding in plain sight. Every coin has a journey, from the moment it leaves the mint's presses to the countless hands it passes through. Some are lost, some are destroyed, and some, just a precious few, survive the decades in extraordinary condition, waiting for the right person to recognize their worth. And so, the next time you see a 1977 Lincoln cent without a mint mark, don't just see a penny. See the echoes of 1970s America, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the chance, however small, that you might be holding a treasure worth thousands. In the world of coins, legends aren't always made of gold or silver. Sometimes, they're copper, small enough to fit in your palm, yet carrying a story far larger than their size. Coin 2. Let's dive straight into the captivating world of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carries a history, design legacy, and collector intrigue that makes it anything but common. Picture it, America in 1980. The nation was on the cusp of a new decade, a time of shifting culture, economic change, and political transitions. Jimmy Carter was in the White House, inflation was high, and a gallon of gas cost about $1.19. Amid all these shifts, the U.S. Mint continued producing the iconic Lincoln cent, a coin that had already been in circulation for more than 70 years. This particular penny, struck without a mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia, the oldest mint facility in the United States. No mint mark was placed under the date because Philadelphia coins traditionally went without one during this period, which is a key identifying feature for collectors. The 1980 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse features the familiar bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design so enduring that it has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage history. Every detail of Lincoln's face, his thoughtful gaze, the sharpness of his beard, and the crispness of his coat, is a testament to Brenner's artistry. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's rendering of the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, one of those delightful Easter eggs of numismatic design that make coins more fascinating the longer you examine them. The inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent frame the memorial, making it instantly recognizable. Composition-wise, the 1980 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, part of the long tradition of copper cents before the switch to copper-plated zinc in mid-1982. This heavier, solid copper composition gives the coin a distinct feel in the hand and a richer tone of brown or red when freshly minted. The Philadelphia Mint struck a massive number of these pennies, 7,414,705,000 to be exact. That's billions of coins, which is why finding a circulated example in your pocket change today isn't rare. However, the real allure for collectors comes in seeking pristine examples, those graded at high mint state levels like MS-67 or even MS-68 by professional grading services. In such top condition, the coin's luster, strike quality, and absence of marks make it a coveted piece despite its common mintage. Imagine a coin that has survived over 40 years without a single significant scratch or spot, still glowing with the original mint luster. It's a tiny time capsule from 1980. Error coins from this year can command serious attention. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, and clipped planchets can all increase value dramatically, especially when paired with strong eye appeal. Some 1980 Lincoln cents exhibit doubling on the date or lettering, which are highly sought after by variety hunters. A well-known double die obverse with clear separation in the digits can easily fetch dozens or even hundreds of dollars depending on condition. Auction history reveals just how much collectors are willing to pay for quality. In January 2021, a stunning MS-67 Plus RD 1980 Lincoln cent, without a mint mark, sold at Heritage Auctions for $1,528, a staggering price for a coin that once had a face value of just 1 cent. The bright red luster, nearly flawless surfaces, and precise strike made it irresistible to serious numismatists. Another remarkable example, graded MS-67 RD, brought $940 at a Stacksbauer's auction, showing that top-tier quality consistently draws strong bids. Even coins graded a step lower, like MS-66 RD, can bring $50 to $100 depending on market demand and the coin's visual appeal. It's this mix of historical charm, artistry, and the thrill of the hunt that makes the 1980 Lincoln penny without mint mark such a collector favorite. Holding one in your hand is holding a piece of American history, a tiny witness to the early years of the 1980s, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest stories. And for those who are patient, persistent, and have a keen eye, this humble cent can turn into a treasure worth hundreds or even over $1,000 under the right circumstances, especially when it crosses the auction block under the bright lights of a major numismatic event. This is where truth meets greed. The thrill of rarity meets the hunger for history, and the chase for the perfect coin becomes more than a hobby. It becomes a passion that fuels collectors around the world. Coin 3. In the vast world of coin collecting, some treasures hide in plain sight. You may have handled one without even realizing its story, its hidden value, and the thrill it brings to collectors worldwide. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that most people see as just loose change, but which, in the right circumstances, could transform into a prize worth far more than its face value. The 2006 Lincoln penny with mint mark. On the surface, it seems like just another copper-colored cent from the U.S. Mint, quietly circulating in pockets, jars, and drawers across America. But beneath that familiar exterior lies a fascinating journey of history, design, minting precision, collector passion, and a market that can surprise even the most seasoned numismatists. Imagine holding something so common, yet so capable of commanding a premium and knowing exactly why it's worth far more than 1 cent. That's where our journey begins. To understand the 2006 Lincoln Penny, you first have to travel back to the coin's origin story, all the way to 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was released to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Sculpted by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent became the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real person. Over the decades, its design evolved slightly, but for nearly a century, the reverse side carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American unity and enduring legacy. The 2006 version is part of the tail end of this design era, as just 3 years later, in 2009, the reverse design would change to honor Lincoln's bicentennial with a series of 4 special designs. In 2010, the shield reverse would replace the memorial entirely. That means the 2006 issue belongs to a short but important final chapter in the memorial reverse's long history. Now, let's talk mint marks. In 2006, the Lincoln Penny was struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark, for proof coins. The presence of that tiny letter, whether D or S, tells you exactly where your coin was born. A 2006 D penny came from the Denver Mint, known for mass-producing circulation coins, while a 2006 S-proof penny came from San Francisco's specialized proof coin program. The with mint mark distinction here is important because it separates the coin from the Philadelphia issue, which carries no letter. For collectors, these small differences can mean big variations in value, especially when paired with rarity factors like condition, errors, or special finishes. Speaking of condition, the world of coin grading plays a huge role in the 2006 Lincoln Penny's potential value. Most coins that have been in circulation show wear, scratches, and dullness. But coins that remain in pristine condition, untouched, with sharp details and a brilliant luster, can fetch impressive prices. Mint state grades like MS 65, MS 67, or even higher are what collectors hunt for. The 2006 S-proof coins, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are even more visually striking and desirable when graded PR 69 or PR 70 deep cameo. The difference between an average penny and a top-graded one can be hundreds, sometimes even thousands, of dollars. Then there are the rare error coins, the ones that slip past the mint's quality control and enter circulation with unique flaws. In 2006, notable errors included off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and even wrong planchet strikes. One particularly interesting variety is the 2006 D double die obverse, where Lincoln's features or lettering appear doubled under magnification. To the untrained eye, these errors might look like small imperfections, but to a collector, they're jackpots waiting to be discovered. Some of these error coins have sold at auctions for many times their face value, simply because they are both rare and in high demand. Now picture this. You're sitting at an auction, surrounded by experienced collectors, and the lot number on the screen reads 2006 Lincoln Cent, Denver Mint, MS, 68 red, PCGS certified. The room quiets as the bidding begins. This isn't just about buying a coin. It's about securing a piece of history, a symbol of perfection, and a conversation starter that sparks fascination in anyone who sees it. A high-grade 2006 D penny can command hundreds of dollars, and rare proof coins with the S mint mark in perfect PR 70 condition can climb even higher. The excitement builds as bidders push the price up, each determined to take home this immaculate piece. And here's the part that turns curiosity into astonishment. In a recent sale at Heritage Auctions, a 2006 D Lincoln Cent graded MS 68 red by PCGS brought an impressive $546. That's 54,600 times its face value. Even more jaw-dropping, a 2006 S-proof cent in PR 70 deep cameo sold for over $350 at a Stacksbauer's auction. These prices are not fantasies. They are the real-world result of collector demand meeting rarity and condition. And the best part? These coins are still out there. In pocket change, in jars on nightstands, in forgotten rolls at the back of dresser drawers. The 2006 Lincoln Penny with mint mark is more than just a small copper-plated zinc disc. It's the product of over a century of design tradition, the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, and the passion of generations of collectors. It's a reminder that history can live in the smallest of objects, and value can hide in plain sight. Every time you pick up a penny, you might just be holding a story worth telling. And in the case of the 2006 issue, maybe even a story worth hundreds of dollars. The trick is knowing what to look for, understanding its context, and appreciating the artistry and legacy that each tiny coin carries. So the next time you see that little D or S on a 2006 penny, don't dismiss it. Hold it to the light. Check its shine. Study its details. Because you might just be holding your own auction star, your own hidden gem, and your own ticket to transforming 1 cent into a collector's dream. Coin 4. In 2009, the humble 1 cent coin in the United States got a stunning transformation, and not just one, but 4 different designs that shook the coin collecting world. The year marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself. Since 1909, Lincoln's portrait had stood proudly on the obverse, but for the first time in a century, the reverse design changed not just once, but 4 times, telling the life story of one of America's most iconic presidents. And if you're holding a 2009 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark, you may be holding a little copper-plated treasure struck in Philadelphia that could be worth far more than its humble face value, if you know what to look for. This isn't just a cent. This is a living piece of U.S. history in the palm of your hand. The without mint mark detail means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in America, which has been striking coins since 1793. In 2009, Philadelphia produced millions of these commemorative cents, each with one of 4 reverse designs: the birth and early childhood in Kentucky, the formative years in Indiana, the professional life in Illinois, and the presidency in Washington, D.C. These designs were the brainchild of the U.S. Mint to celebrate Lincoln's journey from a log cabin to the White House, and each tells a chapter of his life story. Collectors instantly knew this was a special moment, the first time in decades the Lincoln Penny was so radically redesigned. But what most people don't know is that certain 2009 Philadelphia cents, in pristine condition or with specific errors, have gone on to sell for hundreds, even thousands, at auction. The coin itself is copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. On the obverse, Lincoln's familiar bust by Victor David Brenner remains unchanged since its debut in 1909. But look closely. Sharp strikes and flawless fields are the first indicators of a higher-grade coin. On the reverse, depending on the variety, you'll see one of the 4 historic scenes: a log cabin for his birth, young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, Lincoln standing as a young lawyer and politician in Illinois, or the Grand Dome of the U.S. Capitol under construction during his presidency. The 2009 cent is a miniature time capsule, and collectors adore coins that tell a complete historical story. Now, here's where it gets greedily exciting. Most circulated 2009 Philadelphia cents are still worth just 1 cent, maybe a few cents to a casual buyer. But uncirculated gems graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can fetch staggering amounts because they are so hard to find without even the faintest scratch or spot. And the error coins? That's where the real money flows. Off-center strikes, Die cracks, and double dies on the reverse lettering have been found, and some of these error coins have stunned bidders at auctions. Imagine pulling one from change and seeing it hammer for over $1,000. Yes, it's happened. One of the most jaw-dropping sales was a 2009 Lincoln Formative Years Cent, Philadelphia, graded MS67 red that sold for $1,265 at a Heritage Auctions event. Another, with a dramatic off-center error, brought $1,000 at Great Collections. Even more incredible was a superbly struck Presidency reverse cent in immaculate condition that crossed the auction block at Stack's Bowers and fetched $1,300 because of its perfection and rarity at that grade level. These sales didn't happen decades after the coin was minted. They happened in the last few years, proving the 2009 Lincoln Penny is already a modern collectible with real market demand. The reason for such high prices lies in collector psychology. The 2009 cent was a one-year type, split into 4 subtypes, and coins from Philadelphia often didn't survive in perfect condition because they were released directly into circulation without the special handling proof and mint sets receive. Every tiny nick, every little scratch from rolling around in a cash register or your pocket kills its value. That's why untouched rolls and freshly opened mint bags from 2009 are like gold to collectors. If you have one, guard it, because each year, the supply of pristine coins gets smaller and the demand keeps climbing. Picture this. You're at a flea market, flipping through a dealer's bin of common pennies, and your eye catches the crisp detail of a young Lincoln reading by a log, with no mint mark under the date. You hand over $1 for a handful of coins, and weeks later, your 1-cent piece sells at auction for $800. That's not just lucky. That's the greedy thrill of coin hunting. And it's not rare for sharp-eyed collectors to turn pocket change into hundreds or thousands with a coin like this. The 2009 Lincoln Penny, without a mint mark, is living proof that modern coins can hold serious value. They may be small, they may still turn up in your change, but in the right grade, with the right variety, and the right buyer, they become miniature pieces of art worth more than silver dollars. Whether it's the birth and childhood, formative years, professional life, or presidency reverse, every one of these coins tells a story worth far more than a single cent. And the next time you see one, remember, it might not just be pocket change. It could be your ticket to a collector's payday, just like the bidders at Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections already know. So dig deep into your jars, your drawers, your piggy banks, because somewhere out there, your 2009 Philadelphia Lincoln Penny could be waiting to turn your spare change into serious cash. Coin 5. Imagine holding in your hand what seems like an ordinary coin, just 1 cent, a small copper-plated zinc disc that millions of people pass around daily without a second thought. But what if I told you that the 2011 Lincoln Penny, especially the one without a mint mark, carries a story that stretches back over a century, a tale of design evolution, hidden minting details, collector obsession, and rare auction surprises that can turn this humble coin into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? This is no ordinary penny. It's a time capsule from America's minting history and a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. The 2011 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, a city where the U.S. Mint's heart has been beating since 1792. By this year, the Lincoln cent had already gone through one of its biggest changes. The reverse design had shifted from the iconic Lincoln Memorial to the new shield design in 2010, marking a bold new chapter in its story. This shield, inspired by the Union shield from the Civil War era, symbolizes the nation's unity and resilience, something collectors instantly appreciated for its symbolism and historical depth. When you look closely at the obverse, you see Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Over a century later, that same dignified profile remains, connecting the past to the present. But in 2011, there's a twist. Coins without a mint mark are your clue that they were minted in Philadelphia. And while hundreds of millions were produced, not all are created equal. Some came off the press with tiny imperfections, minting errors, or were struck in superb condition, instantly setting them apart from the rest. Collectors know that in modern coinage, condition is king. A flawless, uncirculated 2011 penny without a mint mark can sparkle under the light, its luster intact, with sharp edges and full strike detail. These are the coins that grading services like PCGS or NGC love to label as MS 67 or even MS 68, grades so high that they're nearly perfect. And here's where it gets exciting. In the right condition, these coins can shock the unprepared with their auction results. For example, a pristine 2011 Lincoln Shield cent without a mint mark, graded MS 68 red by PCGS, sold for an incredible $456 at Heritage Auctions. Why? Because in that condition, with that date, the population is incredibly small. Collectors will fight over such coins to complete their registry sets, driving prices higher than anyone would expect for a 1-cent piece. And then there are the rare varieties and mint errors that transform an already interesting coin into a true prize. Picture a 2011 penny with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's eye, lips, or date appear doubled under magnification, or a coin struck slightly off-center, revealing part of the blank planchet. These oddities are the accidental art of the minting process, and collectors adore them. Depending on the severity and clarity of the error, prices can jump from a few dollars to several hundred. I've even seen examples with dramatic die breaks or cuts, raised, misshapen areas caused by damaged dies, sell for over $200 on eBay simply because they're visually striking and unique. Now think about this. You could have one of these coins right now, sitting unnoticed in a jar, in your wallet, or mixed with change on your desk. That's the beauty of modern treasure hunting. You never know which penny could be a payday. For most people, 2011 was just another year, and a penny was just a penny. But for a dedicated coin collector, 2011 was a year when history, artistry, and rarity came together in a way that still excites the hobby today. Imagine walking into a coin show with a flawless, deep red 2011 penny in a protective slab, and dealers leaning in to inspect it, their eyes widening as they recognize its grade and scarcity. That's when you realize you're holding more than just a coin. You're holding bragging rights, investment potential, and a tangible link to America's past. And here's the truth. Coins like these aren't getting easier to find. Every day, more enter circulation, get scratched, tarnished, or simply lost. Those perfect condition survivors become scarcer, which means the value can only trend upward in the long run. So the next time you see a penny from 2011 without a mint mark, don't toss it aside. Examine it carefully. Look for that flawless luster, sharp detail, and maybe even a rare minting error. It could be your ticket to a collector's auction, where eager bidders will compete for what you once thought was worth only 1 cent. And who knows? You might walk away just like the lucky seller whose pristine MS 68 red 2011 penny brought $456 at Heritage Auctions, or even more if a bidding war breaks out. This is why the world of coin collecting is so addictive. It's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the possibility that at any moment, in any handful of change, you might find a treasure that changes the way you see the smallest coin in your pocket forever.